we go. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our third episode of our vlog. I'm Lori.
I'm Megan.
And together we are Have Wool, We Will Travel. And welcome to our weekly, semi-weekly chat about stuff. So let's see, what happened this last week?
Last Saturday, the 18th, I taught my very first full classroom full of people for the Brioche, beginner Brioche. This was the headband and the coaster, so it was like learning both in the round and in flat. And that was on the Lamb Yarn Shop up in Grapevine, and went really well. I was just, people were very kind. It ran a little over. What are you gonna do? We were all kind of getting into it, so really having a great time. I think it went so well that we had some demand for an encore class, so we've got a couple things planned for the shop. And the shop's going to announce it when we have a chance, and probably all going to be in February.
Yeah, I
for
think
classes.
so.
Yeah. And so we only had a couple of these adorable little minis left from the class. This is like super cute. We took the steamer trunk and shrunk it down to these tiny little minis that were perfect for just doing those two projects. So it was just enough with a little extra. And so we're going to make a bunch up so that we have enough for future classes, but also for an upcoming event this weekend. And yeah, so you always learn from your students. So they were able to give me great feedback on a couple of things we could do to improve it, to make it super easy to learn. So we're incorporating that, and we'll have it ready for the next time we teach the class. And yeah, so mad props to all of the teachers out there who have to do all the prep work. Lori knows, she was a teacher.
I used to be a teacher, I know, exactly. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The first time you teach a class.
It's
Hi,
not
Fergus.
just, yes, hello Fergus. It's not just the teaching the class, but also like the 45 different things you need to do to remember to pack and everything like that. So, I really got to go into the experience of teaching, and I really enjoyed it. So I would love to do this again.
Yeah, I told her if you finish the class and you're not really sure what happened,
Yes.
you were teaching.
Yes, very in the moment.
Especially
yes.
for your first time.
Yeah.
So we did a little survey of everybody, and all the students said that they would recommend the class to fellow knitters, which is always a high compliment, no matter who's doing the teaching, which was great.
Nobody cried. Nobody had, and I didn't even get close to yelling. I didn't think I would. I like to be nice in teaching situations.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you'd be surprised how many teachers do yell, knitting teachers do yell, and then they yank your work away from you. I've had that happen to me a couple of times, and that's kind of turned me off of classes. So if I can find more teachers who don't yank work out of my hands,
I don't yank.
it'd be great.
Yes, I tried to ask very nicely.
Yes.
Yes.
But I'm so glad it was a success, and everybody was happy, and we brought these brownies. Everybody was like, where did you find these brownies? And they're gluten-free, and they're King Arthur flour brownies, and they're in a blue box. We found them at Kroger. They've got them at Whole Foods, Central Market, those kinds of things. So you can get them there. And they were a big hit. Oh, Fergus apparently does not like the yarn. He just batted it off the table. He's going to tear it apart. So we will be bringing those to the Yellow Rose on the Coast. But we are getting ready for the Yellow Rose on the Coast. So those of you who are familiar with the Yellow Rose Fiber Producers Fiesta that happens in May, this year they've added another event in Corpus Christi, Texas. So those of you who are not in Texas, or not even in the States, have no idea what our geography is like. It is 6 hours south of where we live in Texas, on the coast, on the Gulf Coast. So we're really looking forward to this. This is the first time that the area has had any sort of yarny show of any sort. So it should be really exciting to see who comes to the show. There are a few yarn shops in the vicinity, so I know that that'll send us some people to us. And they're also starting a passport as well. So if you are kind of in that South Texas area and you don't have a yarn crawl, the organizers wanted to have a way that you could participate in kind of a yarn crawl, which it's kind of like a pub crawl, but you get yarn instead of drinks. And a lot of them have these passports where you can show it to the store and they stamp your passport, and you get kind of credit for going and visiting the store, sometimes entered into a drawing for the whole yarn crawl kind of thing. So she's doing this, she's kicking it off at the Yellow Rose on the coast. So the fiber show is the first time the passports will be available and given out and stamped. We bought a stamp, so we can stamp people's passports
Yes.
if they come to our booth with it.
It's super cute.
Yes, and then the whole idea is that if you visit a farm or another yarn shop in the area that's on the passport, you can get it stamped and participate over, I think, almost 2 months or 1.5 months, which is really nice because usually yarn crawls are about 2 weeks. So we're going to look forward to talking to people who come by our booth who are participating in that as well. Should be fun.
And I believe there's a discount too if you buy
Yes.
at the shops.
Yes.
Yeah, so, as an incentive. Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. It's the first time they're having this particular show in January, February, and
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
he's found my yarn bag. Can you go get the... So Fergus loves mohair. I don't know if you have a cat, but Fergus can't stand, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the scent of the mohair, the feel of it in his little teeth. I don't know. But there's mohair in my bag because I'm still working on that Birds of a Feather project. And he found it on the chair over there, and he was about to dive in to the bag. And I don't mind him getting into my bags, but I mind it when he goes after the yarn. So we will see how that happens. Thank you for taking it out of his reach. So anyway, back to the Yellow Rose on the coast. So it should be fun. We're at a church down there in Corpus, and I think there are like 13 or 14 vendors now. She opened it up to a few more people, so that'll be great to see all of our all the people we know who are going to be exhibiting down there. Megan's going to be teaching her beginner brioche class again.
Yes,
So
yes.
far we have one student, so if
For
anybody else
sure.
wants to sign up, feel free to go onto the website and do it. Or we are taking day of walk-ups, so if anybody is planning on showing up and thought, I need to learn brioche, you can come on in. We'll give you a little kit with the 2 balls of yarn, and she'll teach you how to brioche.
Yeah, and if we don't get too many extra people in the class, it's going to be super intensive, like, little private
Just sit
lesson.
next
It's
to
going to be
them.
great.
Yeah.
And you get to do all the things. So, looking forward to that for sure. And, seeing all the other offerings that are there from the different vendors. And we are planning to do a little bit of coverage of the show and film while we're down there. So stay tuned.
Yes.
And then, so we've been dyeing all the things, getting ready for it.
Everything, every waking
Yeah.
moment we dye in our garage, so I'm in the garage putting things in pots and pans and trying to dry them very quickly. We just got a, what is it called? An extractor. I keep calling it a spinner, but it's this thing that you put wet yarn in and you close the top and you push a button, and magically all the water is spun out by centrifugal force. And it comes out much, much drier than I can even wring it out with my little hands. And so it's cut the drying time in half, which is great because we've got a lot more yarn to do. It's Saturday night. I got more yarn to do tomorrow. That's what I'm doing. That's the only place I'm going to be. And one of the things we're going to work on tomorrow is a set of colors, a mini set of colors that we're going to call something to the effect of like conversation hearts. I'm not sure what pithy word we've come up with yet. We'll come up with it tomorrow. But watch our Instagram because we'll be posting pictures of us trying out different ways to dye the colors, and definitely the finished product of the yarn to share it with you guys so you can see what it'll be. And it'll debut at Yellow Rose on the coast. And if I can ever find enough time to finish updating our website, it'll be on there too. I have added a lot of pictures lately and a lot of products, but what I need to do is I need to make sure, like, if you go into one type of yarn and that colorway is in another type of yarn as well, you can get there in that one listing. So that's my next thing to work on when I'm not dyeing.
And one of the things about the Conversation Heart set, we have, Lori did a custom dye thing for her own use to do the Andrea Mowry's Night Shift cowl, was it?
It's the cowl,
and it came out really great, and it was mostly those colors. And so we decided, you know, they look so great in this project, maybe we'll do it so that everybody else can enjoy it too. So we'll have her cowl with us as a shop sample,
Yes.
and then also we'll have it, you know, with the finished product, only this time it's gonna be in sparkle, I believe.
Yes, that is right.
Sparkle.
Sparkle. The little minis are soaking right now in water to be
Yes.
ready to be dyed tomorrow. So yeah,
Yeah.
so it should be fun.
Nothing's better than the sparkle. It's wonderful.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And then,
oh,
so
that's right.
so we haven't mentioned it because it's, you know, we've just been getting ready for all this stuff and sharing things with you about what we're up to this month, but in the second weekend of February, with the 6th and 7th, 8th, 9th,
Yeah.
so the whole thing, it's a 4-day. We are gonna go to Ragline Knits Retreat, which is the knitting and yoga retreat, and it's in Marfa, Texas. And there's gonna be the opportunity to knit and do some knitters yoga, like stretching out the shoulders and getting, you know, kind of a
Need
little
that.
tuned up when you're working on
My
projects.
pain arc is bad.
And
Yeah.
and so like an opportunity to kind of do some stuff with yoga that we really haven't had, you know, time to do and want to. And so that's really cool. And then there's gonna be a trip to see the night sky.
Yeah. So
Over at, like near the McDonald Observatory
Yeah.
area.
So
Yeah.
Marfa is about an 8-hour drive, the way I drive, from here, from west from here. And we've been out to the McDonald Observatory before. We did a
Star party.
star party, that's what they call it. And it's actually, you get time up on a telescope. They've got a couple of different ones. So you could book the time out on the telescope, and you go up, and then the astronomer has things preloaded into the telescope, and he pushes buttons and it moves. Hey, and cats right here. And you can see wonderful things like nebulas and things. And I have never been in such a dark area before that, that when we walked out after doing the telescope time, you could see the Milky Way, every star. I mean, I was overwhelmed with how many stars I could see. And at the time, my camera was not so good. It was like just a digital camera, not an SLR. So I kept trying to take pictures. The flash kept going off. I was so horrified. This time, I'm bringing my DSL, my fixed lens, and my tripod, and I'm taking pictures. So part of the retreat is that they're going to take us over there to the observatory, and we'll be able to go to different telescopes and see different things. So I'm not sure if they're going to take us all the way to the top, or if they're going to keep us at the bottom where they do kind of kid star parties, where they set up little telescopes outside the visitor center, and you can look through things. Either way, I'm in. I told Kate, she had me at the observatory, and I'm like, where do I sign?
Yes.
And for those of you who have never been to Marfa, we haven't. This is also the tiny little Texas town that has that Prada store in it. So that's the Marfa that we're going to. It's also the place that has the Marfa lights.
The mysterious Marfa lights and art. Lots and lots of art. And so we're really looking forward to that, you know, indulging on a little getaway, you know, for us.
Yes.
And not sure if it's sold out. There might still be some availability.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're interested, we'll put the, you know, information down below our video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something we're doing in February. That's just, it's like yarn related, but not quite, you know.
Yes, well,
something that
totally
everybody
yarn
can-
related. Cause so
That's true,
this
I'll
other
be
thing-
knitting.
Yeah. So part of the retreat is
But also travel.
you get to they'll teach you stuff. And so Kate and Liza, the two ladies who are organizing it, are at your disposal the whole time. So Kate's going through the Master Knitter certification, and I chatted with her when we were in Austin, and she's learned so much. And they'll both be at our disposal if we have questions about anything in terms of knitting. And one of the classes that I think Liza's teaching is the herringbone stitch. And there's a cowl that I've been wanting to do, and I've had it on my Ravelry queue for like ever. And I'm like, yes, I'll finally be able to learn how to do it. So I'm gonna rifle through my stash before I start packing, so I can make sure I bring something to do that with. But yes, so in terms of other travel, Megan and I have been looking at return plane tickets for our trip in around Thanksgiving on the river cruise up the Rhine, or Danube, sorry, the other river. And we end in Budapest, and so I can't decide how long we should stay in Budapest after the lovely river cruise is over. Last time we ended in Amsterdam, and we're like, time to leave, right? We're going to London. Let's go to London. We'll spend some time there, and we'll come home. Big mistake. We should have just stayed in Amsterdam to have some fun. Went back to the Stephen and Penelope store, but we didn't. So little we learned. So this time I got on Amazon, I ordered 2 books, good old Rick Steves and The Lonely Planet, and I've been looking through them. I've asked one of my old coworkers who went to Budapest for the day what he did, what he liked. I've got to get on probably a Zoom chat with one of my old bosses who has been to Budapest several times, and she loves it. Her and her husband have just fallen in love with it, and she's like, we need to chat. So if you have any tips, any tricks, any ideas of how long we should stay in Budapest, let us know in the comments because I will read them. We haven't gotten a return ticket yet, so we need to figure out how long we're going to stay there. If we go back to Vienna and stay in Vienna, it's only a 2-hour train ride away, then come home, who knows. So that's one of our travel things that we've been dealing with. And the other one is my work. Because we are all remote, we have no office, there's no home office. I work with a lot of people who live in Europe, and I would like to see them. I am going over in March for a company meeting, but I found out too late after I bought my plane ticket that one of my coworkers can't come because she's trying to get Irish citizenship, so she can't leave until that's all settled, and we're all going to Prague. So I really wanted to go and visit her and hang out with her, so I decided that I'm going to go back to Europe in June and take advantage of the fact that she is in Dublin. My company will pay for it under a certain kind of situation that I've got set up. I just have to meet people and they'll pay for it. And then I'm going to go to Woolen.
She really wanted to go to Woolen.
I really want to go to Woolen.
I know.
So we both wanted to go to Edinburgh, but this year they're skipping. They decided that they're not doing Edinburgh this year. So there goes our yet another excuse to try to get to Scotland.
Got to get to Scotland
next
eventually.
year. Yeah. But I wanted to go to Woolen, and Megan was like, she doesn't get unlimited vacation like I do. So I'm just going to take off the Friday, since I'll be in Dublin anyway, and go and check out Woolen. And I'm just so excited. I can't wait for tickets to go on sale. I think this spring they'll have the tickets. If you're over there, if you're close by, the classes are up. You could go ahead and sign up for a class, but I'm just wanting to check out the vendor hall and schmooze with all the other yarn dyers and see what's going on over there.
Yeah, and so that's 2 things that she's going to get to go on with these trips, because I think we talked about it before, but going up to the Yorkshire Festival, Yarn Festival, in March.
Yes.
And then this will be the Woolen in June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So jealous. I mean, like really jealous. I'm kind of like, okay, I want you to like FaceTime me so we can like.
Oh yeah. You just
I'm
make
like
sure
buy
you're
that. Yeah,
it's like
it'll
it'll
be worth staying up in the middle of the night so I can do it.
Yes.
And so that's going to be really exciting. I'm so excited you get to go.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
I totally paid for because I got kind of cheap tickets. And but I made sure that I paid for the check bag. I don't know what I'm gonna buy.
It's true. You know, sometimes you're like, well, I'll just take it all home with me, or you know, maybe just a small stash. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And the other thing I've been looking at is for the March trip, we'll be in Prague. And I've been to Prague several times, but I've never had enough time to do any kind of yarn shopping. We went to the Kohinoor store, which is amazing. I highly recommend it.
I love the Kohinoor store.
If you want
all art supplies,
colored
it's amazing.
Pencils.
Those pastel pencil things. Oh, it's just perfect for color books.
I'll probably go back
everything.
again. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, that's really, and really when I think of Prague, I think, where's the Kohinoor store? And then everything else, you know, that's around it kind of thing, which is weird. It's not what everybody thinks of. Yeah.
It was amazingly higgy when we went because it was so dark and rainy and cold and dank, and then you round the corner and then there it is. It's very tiny. It's tinier than this room.
Yeah.
And it's just golden glowing Kohinoor store. Come on in, buy all the art supplies. So I'll definitely go there. But I've been looking to try to find yarn stores in Prague. And my experience in Europe is that yarn stores can be quite different than yarn stores in the States. Because we've got Michael's and Joann's, and in the UK they've got similar kinds of stores. but you also have like your yarn store, like your Pearl, Soho, or your West 7th Wool kind of thing. Theirs are a little bit different. Theirs are kind of like a mix between like a Michael's and a Pearl Soho or a West 7th. It's not one or the other. And so what I've been trying to do is get on Ravelry, and there's a feature on Ravelry, and it used to be called Road Trip.
I think
it might still be called Road Trip. I could not find Road Trip on it. But what I found was yarn stores near you. And I was like, yes, let's just type in Prague. And it came up with a list, and what it does is you can type in whatever zip code or city or whatever you're going to see what yarn stores are listed. And it will tell you which Raveler has visited it.
Oh, that's helpful.
And, yeah, and if the owners are Ravelers, it will have them listed too, or the workers. It will have them listed in the shop listing. And if they have a website, it'll have that, and they'll have their address and their phone number and things like that. And so that's been helpful. But one of the stores I looked at, and this is not Ravelry's problem, this is more European Maps and Google problem, is that there was one store, it was like Yarn Queen or something, and it looked super cute in the pictures on Ravelry. So I clicked on the map to show me where it was in relation to where I'd be staying. And the street view looked like it was like a shirtwaist store that had graffiti all over it. I'm like, this can't be right. Like, I know things change over and they don't go do like the street view all the time, but this store had been there for like 10 years. So I think what had happened was that they were either off a block or off a street. And so when I went back in a different way, I actually found the right street view and everything. It's like, okay, this makes me feel better. So I've got a couple more to check out. But if you've been to Prague and you've been to any yarn stores there that you can recommend, let me know. Please leave it in the comments. I'd love to know. And if I do end up having some time to go to one or two, I'm definitely going to have a little video there for sure. If nothing else, take pictures. You never know.
And so by shirtwaist, do you mean like a tailor?
Yeah, it kind of looked like it, but like a janky tailor, like the shirts that were, you know how men's shirts used to come at JCPenney's, like in the plastic sleeve that you took out. It's like they took that out and just left it folded up and put it in the window.
Oh, interesting.
It was the weirdest thing.
Oh, not yarn related.
No, not yarn related.
No.
Nor was the store next door yarn related. No.
Yeah. No. You never know sometimes with these tagging.
This happened to me when we were in Oslo, when I was trying to find some stores without you. You were busy. You went and did the thing across the
I was
water.
probably at the Viking Museum, which is amazing. I'll talk about that
so
sometime.
I was trying to find this store, and you're walking around with Google, and it's like doing the little dot where you're walking, and you're like, okay, where am I supposed to go? Where is the store? And I walked right past it like 3 times, and it wasn't until I saw a lady come out with a bag that had a yarn ball on it, like, oh, that's the store. So, adventures with Google in Europe.
Yeah, you just never know.
No, but I'll buy my data plan. I can do anything I want with it.
There you go. Lots of exciting things coming up. So.
Yes.
So thanks for joining us to talk about, what we've been up to and what we're going to be up to. And so busy couple weeks coming up. So we've got the Yellow Rose on the coast. We've got our retreat we're going on for the Ragline Knits. And then after that, we'll be doing some more classes at the On the Lamb Shoppe in Grapevine. So stay tuned for that. And then, like Lori said, we'll be posting our success, hopefully, with recreating those beautiful colors you had in your bespoke night shift cowl.
Yes.
Yes, very bespoke, like one time only.
No, I warped that. I did a separate thing for it. I warped it and I dyed sections of it. We're just gonna see what we can do.
Yes, it's gonna be super pretty.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, and we will be videoing soon, and you'll be able to see us in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Yes, we're gonna try to find some water and go sit by it if nothing else.
Yeah. Pelicans. What was it? What birds were down there?
All of them.
All the birds.
So there's
the
South Padre Island that has the bird sanctuary.
We're gonna try to go to South Padre Island. been in Texas so long, and I still haven't been. So this will be good.
I
We
haven't
just, like,
either.
did it.
I grew up in Louisiana, and I haven't ever been to this place. So it'll be an adventure. We love to go to new places. So stay tuned to see what we get up to. Hopefully we don't get stuck in the sand and we come back.
Yes, no driving in the sand.
No,
All right.
exactly.
All right. Have a great week.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.